Alright, all clear. Thank you. You're okay. Yep. Heard that way we go now on our top 3 the best movies of the year list. That's right. Oh, we're gonna spoil it. We aren't entirely gonna spoil it. Although we will be expressing how much we love the movie and Sandra Renz and her love life. Well, let's begin and get this over. Oh, the real story of The Wizard of Oz for what it's worth. The full story, that is. I am Mike Lindsay. See here. And we finally watched and are going to review / make an article out of Wicked for Good. I'm pretty sure some of you remember this being my top 4 of my favorite movies of this year, ranked from worst to best. That's from last year. And I'm pretty sure you heard me review this movie before. But now it's time to see how The Wizard of Oz will be changed for good. 7 years after the events from Wicked Part 1, Elphaba has been now depicted as a vigilante going by the name of the Wicked Witch of the West, who's formed a feud with her and the animals against the people of Oz. Or that's what they say. She then meets up with her little sister Nisrosa, who becomes the Wicked Witch of the East after she stole Elphaba's book and then used it on Bog, after he broke Nerissa's heart with his crush on Glinda. Which made Nerissa heartbroken. Instead of changing his love for Glinda into love for her, Nerissa accidentally strung his heart and turned him into the Tin Man. Elphaba tried to fix it, but was unsuccessful, which is what led to Nerissa herself to become the Wicked Witch of the East, who ends up being crushed by the same house from the Wizard of Oz that had Dorothy and Toto in it. A story from there, where Glinda is now the Good Witch. Witch Glinda the Good, which is really all being conspired by not just the Wizard of Oz, who we all know in what Elphaba's clown text said, and not what the audience thought it said. That what Elphaba wrote was "Our wizard lies." Well, yeah, it's basically Elphaba and Glinda's headmaster behind this whole thing the whole time. The one who is the one that has been doing the magic from the Grimoire that the wizard said he can never understand, but Elphaba could. And it's not until after Glinda and Elphaba's argument due to Elphaba's sister Marissa's death, or he taking those silver shoes that actually those ruby red shoes, and along has been silencing the animals of their voices just so they wouldn't talk out on them, and tattle on her and the wizard, trying to prevent animals having their rights in Oz, as well as the Munchkins. And after Fiyero betrays the wizard, since he and all are willing to know the truth, he's later killed by letting himself of a sacrifice of true love, where she tells Elphaba to escape, but not get her. That leads to him, leads to Fiyero being pinned, across Jesus style. But thankfully, Elphaba was able to save him, and with a spell that actually works this time, but doesn't go to plan, and for Elphaba. Yeah, and that's basically what the plot is. Now, if you guys didn't already know, and or if you had not watched my ranking of the movies of 2024 from worst to best, I actually happened to do a review on the first part of Wicked last year, back in 2024. And yes, it turns out that while it has been 7 years since Elphaba, Glinda, and Nerissa, and Fiyero were all together for so long, yet it actually took at least a year to finish production on this one. Conclusion to the 2-parter Kid and Wicked Good. And I will admit that the story started. And I will admit that the story did start off a bit sloppy. Mostly even in the moments And then certain moment or ruin this. You lose me. It's constantly wrong. When she's not the real villain.
Opie! How are ya?
That actually goes to none other. That actually goes to none other than the headmaster of Shays Academy, Madame Mevelle. Who's she? He's been trying. Who's she? He's been trying. Who's she? Who's she's been trying. Who's she? He's been declaring. Who's she? Had her be declared as Glenda the Good. Good. In our own good evil kind of fantasy. Yeah, it doesn't actually teach Glenda magic for real. You know, Glenda always wanted to be magical and have real magical powers of her own. Throughout the first act, I can turn on to the second. we learned that Glenda. Learn that Glenda was actually dream. Well, I'm sorry. Well, basically, it's revealed that Glenda, that when she was a kid, has always dreamed of having magical powers of her own. Like some of her relatives did. Like her mother, I think. Think. And as much as she knows the truth, and as much as she knows about the truth of what really happened back there in the first movie, back in like part 1, where you find out her and always find out until her found and then Melinda's true intentions and the truth. And to wish her at the end of the first one. Glenda really thought that she would be able to help her actually do magic for real. Although she later learns, as well as learns, and seeing with Alpha too. At the climax of the movie, at the main climax of the movie, we're there to learn their real magical moments. And they're in our power with their magic. Like when they're together. Glenna being her only real closest friend. And probably besides Fiyero. Fiyero, who is actually revealed, to be the guy that he was actually revealed, to be either Scarecrow's true identity. Do you know which one it was? Oh yeah, this one? And Glinda realizing that Elphaba, the Throd, was actually the one friend of hers that actually mattered to her. Besides Bog. Yeah. Frank. Though when getting back into Manavilla, it's basically that. Well, it is one of the best. It is one of my. Well, it is probably one of not my favorite movie. We have this. Here are the best. And peace. And get strength. Strength to have made for the characters and regarding their character development. And tying up all loose ends and storylines have been unresolved. Especially at the end. Well, you know what we're talking about. However, aside for the Tin Man being unlikable, aside from Bong becoming super unlikable, once he found out that animals and munchkins are not the train more. I don't think it's their powers that had her finally could join in such a long time. Though Bond was really unlikable. During the majority of the rest of the movie. We're not only being heartless, but Timon's also very petty and vengeful. Yes, which is not really who Timon, or really whom the character of Balog really is. And I mean, serious. Seriously. He really becomes a big jerk. Or got again turned into the Tin Man. Where in the original Oz, as in other films based on this franchise and are wicked. But in the original Oz inside Jen also on part 1, the Wicked 2-part movie. Mainly in the first part, Bog was never this selfish or unlikable. In fact, he still felt feelings. Yet he still feels emotions. And he wants to feel. He does want to feel. And it's still very emotional. And it's very emotional. And is very vulnerable and emotional. And very emotional when he's vulnerable. And cries a lot in vulnerability. When I hurt. But he was never this outright selfish, petty, and you're unforgiving. And as in the original ones and such. Not even part 1 of it, before he became the Tin Man. Though it's not entirely his fault. And that same problem and shows up a bit. And that problem the address. That's with the lie. Thinking that I was attacking Kenna, the child. But I mean, she was actually saving the lion. Intense. The amount of time. They were very hard, just so they could prevent other animals from having their voices. Though he was just a cub when he was really abducted by the wizard and his scars. He was tortured. You know how it's been prohibited. It's been prohibited of his chance to speak. Especially when in reality, Elphaba, along with Fiyero, actually saved that lightning cub. Though really Elphaba was actually saving the lightning cub from the wither and his guards. Who are the real villains? And the ones in Fiyero. But yeah. He was at least still very young. He was still just a little cub. Not at the time. That's right. He's there because of the wizard. Sorry, the conspiracy that man. So, remember what we're doing. The first word. The lion, as a cub, didn't know any better. He was still a cub, being tortured by the wizard until Efla and Fiero, or whatever you want to say them. Well, man, we're trying to prevent the animals from having their voice of speech ever again. Something right. Cave. Which? Is it alive? Yeah. The point being is that even though the others slightly remember what happened. And then learning the truth. There's a cub. Since anxiety, sorry, be sure of alive. Have. Yeah, well, sorry, really alive. My point is that the majority of people are being too trusting. The one with the eyes that he's said to be, which he's not. Which he isn't really. And was conspiring to all that was really to all things that were really happening in ours. As it's not the wizard, even Galinda, saw what Alpha's contacts really said that always are lies, and noticed that Madame Mavel has been trying to change it, just to make others think otherwise. Galinda mostly. She finally puts it all together. Going from there. And mainly, was the one of the whole truth alongside Alphabet. They were basically being a bit too trusting. They were basically being a bit too trusting. know. I don't see it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry, guys. But yeah. Yeah. As the only people that started noticing, that started noticing and realizing the truth, and especially being like the truth, mostly Fiero. And so, yeah. And so, yeah. I don't think they even try. I don't think the others outside of them and try to question the wizard's methods one bit, or where he's really getting information from. But mainly conspiring Madame Manel is mostly just a gigantic big web of lies. Oh, and get this. Turns out, so the not real and wonderful to us that people thought he was. That's what not his power. People say that it wasn't all that bad. Yeah, as it turns out, that he would help his father. Mother, which is part of the reason why she was the one that's able to hold the power of the book, like Mademoiselle, and the wizard. Well, he was not able to. Along with kept in the dark of the truth. Well, yeah. Though that's only a minor complaint, mainly being and that only puts that only talks 0.3 points.
Dan, you came home and did you take your sneakers or not? You went to do exercise with your Crocs?
Fine.
Oh no, you came home. What happened? Why do we have water everywhere then? And you want food? Okay, I put the food away.
Points.
I guess you ate? Anthony, did you eat?
Mine's not familiar. As either there are just true trusting of the conspiracy to actually grasp the truth, or just too means they're just as mostly different as well mostly done by Manavel. When they were also to blame for Alpha truly becoming evil. All that she was basically returned for. Yeah. I went and noted. Why you get? Well, you get it. Thankfully, in the end, and once Glinda finally figures it all out, she heads to Elphaba at the castle Fiera owns, which she's holding Dorothy captive in exchange for shoes. but then that was basically able to snap Elphaba out of it and her evil ways, which never had, and it's snapping her out of the evil intentions. Beating what real, there's a lot of Glenda to be in her closest and only true friend, true and true. Give it a girl. That she cared about June. Two. Well, which then leads to the song Unchanged for Good. And to help Elphaba snap out whatever evil intents. And thanks to Glenda having her for real change for good. And no longer wicked, and have her no longer be wicked. And her no longer freeing her from blind rage. And they were able to finally expose the wizard into Madame Lavelle's lies. Set 33. Real Madame Lavelle. Lavelle and she really is. Madame Lavelle, that's a real. Here's a real hell in the whole thing. Along with Elphaba being revealed as the Wicked West had really faked her death. Yeah, and with a little help from Fiyero. With that, but now I really want to find a clue. To find out the whole conspiracy. And that Madame Lavelle had been lying to everyone, was one lying to everyone, even the wizard, that they were dying was. It's only about her and the way it was about his and the Madame Lavelle's lies. I'm pretty sure you get it by now. But yeah, turns out Elphaba faked her. Turns out the Wicked Witch of the West, Elphaba, a fraud, was they were the villain, and actually faked her death. Ignore. You get the idea. And the rest of the Wizard of Oz plotline story with Dorothy. Yeah. Thanks to Sugar. But the same, and the so-called Wizard of Oz was exile. There was exile from Oz. And Glinda, I guess the flying monkeys who've been chasing Elphaba at the end of the first movie. Glinda's right. To have been taken away and executed. Along with Glinda and a few others. Help designate everything in Oz by letting the animals get their sentience and ability to speak back. And speak back. Yeah. Having people not see the bad as the Wicked Witch is a threat anymore. We're done. That's one thing I did when she did that. It's really the arrow for her, for them both on their own path. And really, especially when Glinda, especially when Fiyero actually didn't want to marry any Glinda, and his heart still. Oh, you get it. The voice acting is basically what sells the point of the characters to the development. Okay. There's a cause. You might have how. Causing. Not bad out of it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. thing, the thing in red. Right. The visuals are even more fantastical. Let's go there in the first movie. And especially with the music, and especially with the songs, and the music, and that all put can also put the mood, put the moods in the part two's beginning and end, especially change for good. Oh, that's not out of the evilness thing. We're glad that's not out of evilness. But right. Finally defeat Man. Finally told the wizard and his life. And Man though, and also having an exile. And also and fighting monkeys. Daughter saying things to Piero. Beating. And also we're being able to take their death. See? Really? And run away together. It's happening like where they get married. If they're the one making each other. Not here. Just a bit more. Chip. Chip. Yeah, beer. Routine. Shouldn't have gone down routine then. You got the other part. To turn her away, then you turn on. You turn away. Entering. Got his heart. She turned away. Oh, let's go, Linda. Get the grimoire. Well, when she and Fiyero are hiding, you can get in their life, a detective. And now Glenda knows magic are real. And I assume you all know the rest. And for that, and with that, all's well. Oh, that ends well. From there. I did say the movie did. And while I did say the movie, it did go down 0.3 points actually. And although I did say it actually that's not true. Just 0.3 points on a scale of 1 to 10. 3 points on its scale. On a scale of 1 to 10. And as really, this Wicked Part 2 is actually this conclusion to with this being with aside from it being the conclusion to the way from this 2-part story. What, despite this being alluded into the two-part story, to the first movie is actually way better. I say slightly better than the first Wicked movie. Than the first Wicked movie. Before, where Wicked Part 1 got a 9.6 out of 10 for me. The Wicked for Good does it a bit extra. The Wicked for Good on your paw. Use it. Oh, higher on the bar. Higher on the bar. They're on. So, where I basically give Wicked Part 2, give it good, a 9.7 out of 10. 97 out of 100, that is. And I'm pretty sure, I will also say that this is then Wicked Part 2, as that he would say. Over him is also an amazing, brilliant masterpiece. That Wicked Part 2 is obviously a brilliant, awesome masterpiece. Nothing. As being one of the best films of this year, and the best conclusion to this was interesting. Here's in general. All years in general. And roll of all time. But what do you guys think of Wicked Part 2? You like it, hate it, are scared want to finish up more, or actually mainly for me specifically that some of the characters weren't down. Made sure the characters weren't down, right? During the first during the first half of the movie. We done? Well, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to do occasional or all of our videos to catch up on. We don't miss a thing. If you're on your phone, please turn on the post notifications and on your settings on your iPhone. This is I Am Lindsay. See ya.